But let's speak to what really happened today. The spokesperson of the political coalition movement is a former Minister of Youth, Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi, is live for us here in Abuja. So it's a pleasure having you tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So you're not a member of the PDP. You're now a member of the ADC.
No, I left PDP October last year.
So you've been partyless.
Yeah, more or less.
All along.
Yeah.
But now today, officially, all of you have now joined the ADC.
The ADC, yes, the African Democratic.
And I saw Chief John Oyegun. I saw Peter Obi.
Yeah.
I saw
Nasiru El-Rufai.
former Nasiru El-Rufai, Rotimi Amechi, a long list. I mean, if you look at those who are in the APC today, if you look to your left, everybody that is who is who in Nigeria's politics, largely in the opposition, are in that room today.
That's why it's a coalition. That's why it's a coalition.
But they literally have emptied the PDP into that.
Yeah, I mean, because you see, what happened to PDP is quite unfortunate. You know, one of the strongest parties that Nigeria has ever experienced since 1960 was the People's Democratic Party. But due to a cumulative combination of different factors, internal self-sabotage, and of course the latter-day machinations that we are seeing, the party appeared to have. So it got to a point that majority of the who is who, the real people who have built the party, who have run with the party, felt that this is no longer viable, that this vehicle is no longer viable. You know, I mean, if you look at the coalition today, different people have different reasons for coming into the coalition. I mean, coming from their own party. But what's most important is that we are united to build a formidable opposition party, regardless of which was your party. That's why you see people from APC, you see people from PDP, you see people from SDP, and of course, Labour Party. You know, so at the end of the day, what has happened is that all of us have agreed to come together to form one strong, united opposition party.
Well, there are those who, and I've been seeing the reaction. It looks like a combination or an assemblage of aggrieved and angry politicians from the other political parties.
Well, I'm not angry.
But you left the PDP.
I'm not.
You left the PDP.
It's not because I'm angry. I left.
But you were frustrated by the PDP.
No, I'm not saying I'm frustrated. I don't have any frustration, right? I just felt that I don't like this anymore, right? And there are so many people, right, who can tell you that they have one reason or the other for leaving their party. I mean, you look at Peter Obi, you say, oh, he's frustrated. Amechi is frustrated. Rauf is frustrated. This must be a country of really frustrated people. If you have a room full of this caliber of people, and the only word you can use to describe them is that they are frustrated, aggrieved, that they are aggrieved, then something is terribly wrong somewhere. But look, I don't think they are doing this because they are aggrieved. Right? When I look around me and I see a Chief John Odige Oyego, an 86-year-old man, right, coming out to be part of this openly, right, and you tell me he's doing that because he's aggrieved? No. You see, the fundamental principle, if PDP had survived, right, if it didn't get to this pass that it is currently, that's between life and death or closer to death than to life, right, this would probably not have happened. If the APC's internal democratic system was functioning the way it was designed to function, right? Because I know, I was part of that this would probably not have happened. But we are confronted with the situation today that if you are not in APC, then you cannot be in any other political party. Because we are gradually tending towards a one-party state where no political opposition party is allowed to survive. Okay, look at what's happening now, right? In the last 18 months, we've been on this issue of coalition, right? I'm sure you've been hearing about ADC for a very long time. Not yesterday, not last month, not 2 months ago, right? The gentleman you brought here, where is he coming from? Where did he drop from Mars? Is he just hearing that we are going to ADC? Why didn't he come here 3 months ago? Why didn't he come here 4 months ago? Right? When we started, the government said, dead on arrival. It's not going to work. Oh, they will fight themselves. It's all about ambition. But before their very eyes, the coalition has happened. Then suddenly, this kind of people are crawling out of their dark corners to start saying, they are taking over. Where were you all along? Over 18 months, right? That we've been having conversation with ADC.
But why the choice of ADC though?
Okay, I'll tell you.
Why not SDP?
I'll tell you. You see, when we started this, we had a list of
options,
parameters and conditionalities, the kind of party we're looking for. Those who came from APC said, no, when we were forming APC, there was a reason, there were agreed principles that led to the formation of APC. Those principles have been inadvertently betrayed, right? Those coming from PDP said, no, we know what PDP stood for. We know what PDP used to be as a political party, a behemoth of a party, right? A Noah's Ark that contained all kinds of human beings, right? But look at what PDP has become today. Those coming from Labour said, this is where we got it wrong, right? So everybody is saying we're unanimous to say, look, if we are going forward with this, we must have a set of agreed principles. And any party we are engaging with must meet those terms and those conditions that will allow us to reorganize and restructure the party in line with the vision that we have, right? So, and what is that vision? You know, I had a story that the president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, you know, someone said, why was he not in the US for Trump's inauguration? And he said, the ANC had a meeting. Woe betides you that if the ANC has a meeting and you are going anywhere as a party member, not talk of as a president. So we feel embarrassed that we are not able to, you can't point at any political party in reality that you say this is a political party. Perhaps the political parties of the First and Second Republic were even better in terms of the organizational structure, in terms of the discipline. I mean, if you were a UPN governor,
party supremacy,
were a UPN governor, you know that no matter how incompetent or useless you are, you must pursue free education. Basic minimum, right? So how come we are no longer capable of building this kind of parties anymore?
So you saw, so ADC had all of these criteria.
No. We said that's the kind of party we're trying to build. So we're looking for a party that is amenable to this kind of reform.
Or that is weak enough for you to uplift.
Well, if you call a clay weak because you can mold it into a pot, I agree with you. Right?
So you found it in ADC.
We found a party that is amenable to the kind of vision, the kind of reform that we had in mind. Right? And that is why you see people say, Atiku's coalition. How ridiculous. John Oyegun will be sitting in a coalition, David Mark will be sitting in a coalition. It's nobody's coalition. It's a coalition of people who have agreed that Nigeria is currently at a dangerous stage in our political evolution.
This is not the first time that we've had an Atiku-led coalition.
No, but
you remember the new PDP?
No, yeah, I know that.
So, it was from the Eagle Square.
No, it's completely different.
No, just hold on. Yeah. Because when they say Atiku-led, Atiku is a former vice president.
Absolutely.
In that room, there's no former vice president.
Okay, now let me
in that room. He's probably the biggest and most senior political figure in that room. So saying Atiku-led for the sake of press coverage sounds okay.
I mean, if you are looking for a label,
yeah,
but be careful what your label implies.
Because
right?
the impression...
No, if it's just label, you are looking for a convenient label.
The impression is that it's going to be a platform where Atiku will become the presidential candidate.
That Atiku has a chance, like any other member of the party, to become the candidate. You see, this is the problem. And this is why I want us to avoid the appellation Atiku. Because when you begin to say Atiku coalition, then you are going back to the same problem that we've had.
But why the choice of David Mark as a chairman?
Yeah, because he's the one that everybody has a universal confidence in, because we are trying to give every member a confidence that they will be treated equally, they will be treated justifiably. I have attended almost every meeting of this coalition, and I can tell you that the only person that sits at the high table is Senator David Mark. Every other person, including Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, including Peter Obi, and everybody, everybody sit on the floor. When they want to speak, they raise their hands. That is the kind of party we are trying to build. We've done the party of big men before, and look at where it has led us, right? And we say we're not going to do that anymore. Bolaji, I will not be part of a party that is set up to pursue somebody's ambition. I left PDP in October. I have not joined any party. I'm fine. Alhamdulillah.
So, I mean,
right?
the interpretation, right, is that oftentimes in party tradition and formation, you look at the region where the leadership is from,
yes,
determines where the opposite side, it determines where the presidential candidate comes from.
Yeah.
So there are those who think that if David Mark is from the northern region of the country, automatically the presidential candidate of this coalition will come from the south. Is that the feeling within the coalition?
The adjective interim means something.
So there will be a neck, or there will be a convention for an election.
The civil leader, Senator David Mark, is an interim chairman of ADC. The party has a process. It will get to a point where the party will have a convention to elect substantive officers of the party, right? So, and there will also be convention elective convention is not until 2026, right? But some people will have to run the party, right? Until we get to the elective convention. So whoever is the chairman now, or secretary or whatever, is not indicative of where the presidential candidate or any other person will come.
So the main agenda of this coalition is to kick out Bola Tinubu as the president and the APC from prominence in 2027. Is that it?
You know, it will be quite unfortunate if we reduce all this. It's trivial, I'm sorry to say, right? Saying that the coalition is just set up to kick out, but I've seen things like that, like anti-Tinubu coalition.
APC come on forward, ADC don't come.
I mean, of course, if you have a sitting government and you are in opposition, what do you want to do? You want to win election, right? If you win the election, the implication is that the current government is no longer there. But what I'm saying is that this goes beyond all that. Look, tell me which Nigerian today is not embarrassed that we are gradually becoming a one-party state, right? It is lucrative, it is convenient to run into the ruling party, but some of us say no, we won't be part of this conspiracy against Nigeria's democracy. Because I'm not saying anybody that wants to join APC is free to join APC, right? But what I'm saying is that some people will have to give Nigeria options. They have to give Nigeria alternative. You remember during regime of Abacha, when all political parties except maybe one woke up one day and said they adopted Abacha as their presidential candidate. That is where we are heading. That is where we are heading. Because when you destabilize the Labour Party and it is not in a position to produce a presidential candidate because of internal crisis, you destabilize NNDP, you destabilize PDP, and these parties are not in a position to. So in the end, you find that by the time we arrive 2027, there will be only one man able to run election. God forbid. Nigeria is a country of 240 million. This is one of the greatest countries on earth. God forbid that we get to that state. But the people who are trying to push Nigeria down this sorry path, they don't know what they are playing with. They don't know what they are playing with.
But the question here is, why does it look like you and your colleagues are coming through into the ADC from the back door? At least that's how Dumebi Kachiku described it.
I don't know where the back door is or where the front door is. I came into ADC. Maybe if you ask him to show you where the back door is. I don't know what he means.
Aside Rafun Wosu, who are the other ADC party leaders that were there today?
You just showed the clip yourself now. The national secretary was there. The chairman of BOT was there. All the NEC members were there. Even my own party, the ADC people from Kwara State were there. So who's back there? You see, we are
you watched and you listened to Mr. Kachiku, who flew the flag of the party in 2023. You don't think he has genuine grievance about the manner in which things have gone?
I don't know
and
what
they take over.
I don't know what his grievances are. If I understand his grievances, it probably can be addressed. And if he's aggrieved, he has the right to express
So the process by which the David Mark now led ADC coalition as taking over the party is unjust and is illegal.
I asked you a question earlier. We are on solid legal
Grounds.
on this matter. We've been on this for 18 months, right? And we know a day like this will come.
So you're prepared for.
Oh, that was why because you asked me a question earlier. Why do you settle for ADC? We know a day like this will come, and we are here now.
Legally.
We are fine, right? But anyone that wants to commit illegality does not respect the law. We have to give room for that, but we are ready, right? The most important thing I'm saying is that where is this gentleman all this while? You see more like him. You see people like him. More of them will start crawling out of their dark corners now. You know, speaking like this is very lucrative. I'm sorry.
So another issue he raised, Mr. Abdullahi, is the fact that there are former PDP, former governors, former minister, even you, former minister,
yes.
Those who have served this country, and we are still where we are today. Why should Nigerians listen to the coalition that is made up of former that, former this, those who have attempted and experimented with Nigeria, and yet Nigeria is at this stage? The big question that he asked is, why should we listen to you in the coalition?
Okay. I mean, this is a very interesting question, right? One thing we should also ask, which I'm going to ask you, that's what is called the political class. Politics is played by politicians, right? You're not going to go and bring someone, a farmer, a business, a banker or something. Politics is played by politicians, right? And politicians are in their respective parties, right, to contest election. And as a result, they form governments at one point or the other. Or you say they have failed at one point or the other. And I'm not debating that with you based on what judgments or what parameters you are using, right? And I agree with you to a very reasonable extent that a lot of things had gone wrong over the past. But when that happens, then what should we do? What should we do? We'll go to Ghana and bring politicians? Or we'll go and manufacture another set of politicians from Saudi Arabia?
So that's the question, that those who could not be part of this government,
yeah,
by way of them thinking that they've been left out, are angry because all they know has been government.
No.
And now they are playing politics of opposition because they feel sidetracked or sidelined.
No, I think you are wrong. I mean,
He's wrong.
I listened to him and I tried to Google him. I couldn't see much. I don't know what he has done before.
He ran for election.
I mean, yeah, that's the only thing I saw about him. I Googled him. I couldn't see anything I could hold on to. I saw his age. I'm only like 6 months older than him. So why is he here forming youth? I'm 56, right? And I'm a professional. I'm a journalist. I was deputy editor of these day newspapers. I had a job. I'm a professional, right? So why? And I can count people in that place who we can see that if you Google their name, something will come up. I Googled his name. I couldn't see anything. And he's talking, oh, these people, they're in Nigeria. But what I'm saying is this. If politicians have done things in the past and they have failed, right? Unfortunately, we can only go back to politicians. And we can only invite Nigerians, right? But what we are saying to ourselves is this. Even the most consummate, what you need to do is to build a system that ensures that everybody complies. Now, if you build a system that ensures that everybody plays by the rule, if you build a political party that is capable of disciplining its own members, right? There was no time in this country where you don't have politicians misbehaving one way or the other. But when political parties are not able to discipline their own representative, let me tell you what's happening now. An individual gets elected on the platform of a political party. Maybe he becomes a governor on the platform of a political party. Then he funds the party. Then he becomes the master of everything. Then the party loses the capacity to discipline that individual because he has now become a governor. Whereas the party is the mother of the governor. The party is the mother of the president. But what we have seen in recent years is that the reverse is the case, right? The parties are at the mercy of their own elected officials, right? And what we are saying is that can we try to give ourselves a chance? Can we try to build a party?
Can Nigerians believe you people?
You know, when people shake hands, that's the logo of our party. When people shake hands, they have an agreement, right? We say we want to try to give Nigeria an alternative. God forbid we arrive at 2027 and there's no alternative. That is one. Two, we want to build a political party that would last every one of us. Call it, maybe you can even say, if you want to be cynical, you can say we are trying to atone. No problem. But we say we are trying to be a party of rules. And if you listen to our chairman today, he say a party where everyone will be equal, where members will be supreme, right? That is why some of us are there, right?
So we should
jettison that idea.
We should jettison the renewed hope agenda and do what? We should renew and another hope.
Well, I don't know if you want to, what you are doing with hope. We've not said hope. Hope is not the...
Because hope is a standard gauge of political engagement.
But look at where the hope has led you now. In 2 years, hope has become hopelessness. You know? I mean, look at the parameters. Right. Look at the parameters. You know how people are dying every day in this country because people are entering their house and shooting them? And government is doing merry like Christmas?
Abdullahi, former minister and the spokesperson of the coalition group in the ADC, thanks so much indeed for your time. I appreciate it. For the best of Nigerians, we're hoping that all things will be good.